All right, folks, what's going on? Happy Wednesday. What is really good? How's everybody doing this afternoon? We doing things early. About to talk to Jim Jones, the incredible rapper, entrepreneur. Jim has just been doing so many dope, amazing things. Talk about his cryptocurrency. Got to talk about fashion. We've got to talk new label. We've got to talk new music. We've got to talk Dipset. We've got to talk New York. We've got to talk so many amazing things. Jim is joined with us, guys. Jim, what up, man?
Hey, what's up, my brother? How you feeling?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I can't complain.
Good. Well, thank you so much for this opportunity to speak to you today. I've been a fan since the beginning of Dipset. I mean, listen, you are a legend and hip hop, a legend in New York, just a legend in all black excellence.
Thank you, my brother.
Let me ask you, with getting this interview started, did you ever think that as far as like your journey in hip hop that you would actually expand into an entrepreneur, or did you just kind of see yourself just being a rapper and just kind of staying within that lane?
Nah, I always did business way before I did music.
Yeah. And with business, I know that your biggest thing is like expanded business, especially within the black culture, putting black designers on, especially with Drip Report. How have you been loving the fact of doing things with Revolt and just, teaming up and just letting people know like, yo, this is Drip. This can be any type of drip in the world. It doesn't have to be high fashion.
Well, shout to Revolt for giving me the platform to actually do the weather show. Shouts to all the black designers out there who I encourage to keep putting on for the culture. We need that drip. I believe everybody should get a fair chance, especially if it's pretty much the same thing, the same quality. What looks good, it looks good. You know what I mean? A name of a brand shouldn't determine how you feel when you put clothes on. I mean, of
Mm-hmm.
course, Gucci and all that feels good and all that, but that don't mean you can't look good in something else or just look just as good or even look better in something else. So,
Exactly. And I feel like nowadays, especially with the younger generation, and I'm sure you can agree with this as well too, that young 20, that teenager age, everybody's trying to keep up with the Joneses and stuff like that. They want to wear Balenciaga and all this stuff. Do you feel like hip hop has inspired young men and young women to want to get with, what everybody else is doing and versus trying to stay in their own lane?
yeah, perception is everything, and perception has led our young generation to feel that they need to be rich without working, and females need to have the highest fashion of all fashions without actually having any responsibility of paying for these things. So we in a fucked up society where perception has taken over the top to an average person think that if he doesn't have a fly car or if he doesn't have a bankroll in his pocket that he's somewhat of a failure, and that shouldn't be when you at 20 years old having this on your mind that you should have a Rolls Royce or you're a fucking failure. That's terrible. That's a terrible way of thinking, and we need to kind of knock that narrative off because I come from a long line of hustlers where you got to hustle to get that money, and that money don't come overnight when you hustling. You got to hustle up for it.
Absolutely. And I like the fact that you said that women have to be in that high fashionness. They're the type that needs to be in that world versus men where it's like, oh, we gotta put on, we gotta put on. And I feel like even with when we speak about men when it comes to women, right? There should be more men that are actually putting themselves in positions where they can actually take care of their woman. Why do you feel that we see the constant disrespect still? Like I would think that after a while, Jim, that the young guys or even the guys that are close in age to you or something like that, because you were OG, but you were a OG in a good sense though, because you've been in the game. Why do you think that there's still the constant mistake of not being able to treat the woman the way that she be treated? Let her be that queen that she should be, especially black women, all women.
We go straight. Um, that stems from so many things. That stems from back in slavery days where we were taught to beat on ourselves vicariously through other people beating on us, and that kind of carried with us along the whole way. So there's a lot of attributes when it comes to men disrespecting black women or men disrespecting women in general, but for the most part, men disrespecting black women because we've been displaced from the beginning. So the proper values that we had were kind of mixed and misconstrued because of one side of the fence, and then you got consequences on the other side of the fence, and then you could push that forward. But I do tell you, this responsibility starts with the parents, and sometimes at some point, we got to stop the narrative and teach our sons better, and that's all I can tell you about that.
I think that's absolutely true. It starts at the home, that I like to say. And I know that people always they ask you about relationship questions, right? But I gotta say something to those people because they never ask the question of their grandparents being in long-term relationships. They never question their elders in that regard. why do you feel that people feel that it's comfortable to ask another person about, you know, their relationship status or what they're going to do with their life? Because I love the fact that you and Chrissy have been rocking for as long as you guys have, and y'all are like, look, we good, but they don't ask these
I
questions to
mean,
their elders.
we put ourselves in that position to be asked those questions once we put ourselves our business on reality TV. So it comes with the territory. So anybody chooses to go down that lane, they're gonna get what they get. Just hope I'm feeling good that day. You know what I mean?
Right. No, I feel you on that. And that's what it's all about. People having respect, you know, whatever you choose to do in your relationship is what it is. But I wanted to ask you because I get tired of seeing people ask you in interviews about you and Christy's situation. You know what I'm saying? Like it's disrespectful. They wouldn't ask their parents, so why do it to somebody else?
Yeah, I mean, but it's all part of what we do in society, social media, cloud chasing, all that type of shit. But we good, man. Today I've been with my lady for longer than most people been with their wife and shit like that. You know what I mean? Marriages is a very touchy situation. I love my lady to death.
So the people also wanted to ask about Saucey Weed because I know that that was definitely, you know, a different expansion as far as your brand was concerned. Let's talk about Saucey because Saucey has been going really crazy for the last. I want to say you started Saucey what about like 5 years ago, right?
Yeah, we started the process maybe about 5 years ago. Maybe about 4 years ago we started. About 5 years ago we started the process, and we've probably been in dispensaries now for like a little bit over 2 years. And we are was like 200 dispensaries right now. It's dope, man. It's A1 flower. Um, have a whole bunch of other THC products. Also have some CBD products. We legal in Portland and California. So if you in those areas, go to a dispensary and pick you up some sauce.
Right. Listen, I gotta pick up me some Saucey when I'm back in California. Even though my mom's watching, she ain't gonna want to hear me say that, but I'm definitely going to go pick up some Saucey. Because I think, Jim, what you have been doing, you have just been showing black men that it's okay to step out of the box and just to constantly expand. So cryptocurrency as well too has been something that you've been getting into and you've been learning. How do you feel about just the expansion of that and just where currency is now going with as we progress in life?
Um, Cryptocurrency is dope. Definitely a lot of benefits to it. It's definitely where the future is headed when it comes to currency and talking about physical dollars to digital dollars. This is what's going on right now. But cryptocurrency is probably in the recent years is one of the quickest ways to obtain generational wealth. And not saying that all of us could get generational wealth. I'm just saying by investing your time, get off right here, investing your time inside of cryptocurrency and understanding the space, it gives us all a chance to change our perception of what we think generational wealth is. And as far as being in front, we still not in front, but we as closest to the front as we ever gonna get. Because usually we don't find out about these opportunities until it's way too late. You know what I mean? So
Right.
between cryptocurrency and marijuana, those are probably, and tech, of course, is probably the three biggest fields to change what you think wealth is pretty much overnight if you understand the space.
Yeah. Have you thought about venturing into the tech space as well too?
Yeah, well, actually, shout out to AWS and Amazon. I got they helped me build out the technology for Quarantine Studios platform that
That's right.
so that's doing pretty good. People will see a lot going on with that in the near future. So yeah, I'm all over the place, but I use the music so that I can be all over the place straight. Because music is just one way to get the money is using the success and the influence of what the music gives you to make all the real money, and that's what I've just been doing.
And I think that's what is very important for anybody that starts off doing one thing, using that platform and to capitalize off of that leverage, grow from that. Quarantine Studios, I love the aspect of what you've been doing. You provide a space for like all artists that may need a publicist, that need help with management and with publishing, like all things. And it's really been expanding, and people have been loving the fact that you've been doing it. Not only that for up and coming artists, but just the expansion once again. Where did the initial concept come for Quarantine Studios?
Um, Initial concept came during the pandemic when everything shut down, and I need to figure out a way to keep recording and making music so that I can make money. And through that sense of urgency and being desperate and everything shut down, and kind of Quarantine Studios was born.
Yeah. So with you during the beginning of the pandemic, how often were you recording, and how often did you find yourself just feeling inspired during that moment?
Um, well, I went and brought a whole studio rig when the pandemic started before they shut everything down, so I could continue to make it right here. I could continue to make music. And I did. I was just 6, 7 albums inside of my house in the past year, so that's a lot of music.
Okay. So are these, because I know that El Capo was the last project that came out, and I know you just signed this new deal for Bird Gang with E1. Congratulations on that, because you still have your situation over at Empire. How does it feel being able to keep your independentness with both labels and still being able to sign artists and then still be an artist as well?
It's all about the deal you negotiate. I tell people you never get what you deserve, you get what you negotiate. So I will hope that you're smart when it comes to negotiations.
Right. And because that's what it is. You get exactly what you negotiate. Not all, because you can't recoup what you didn't put out there. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the biggest thing that people have perception wise with signing these deals.
Hmm.
But being from the fact that you came from a major system to now independentness, was that something that was ever like a struggle for you, or did you just kind of find it easy because you stayed busy with shows?
I always been an independent artist from the beginning of time. That's been my thing. I've bring that whole independent feel to the East Coast and to New York. My Cam and them all had major deals, but that was what made my independent deal so strong because they're already so famous and had so much influence that it didn't matter where I did my deal at, people were likely to follow and see what type of music I had.
Right. And that's good because it worked out for you in so many different ways. And I know that earlier in the conversation you were talking about reality television. How do you feel like reality television definitely helped you as well to expand your brain? Because from there we saw Vamp Life, which still continues to like grow each and every day. We see that fashion side of you. How did you say reality television has helped?
Um, Shit, there's no better form of promotion than being on TV. It's too visual. People get to see you. Like I've been doing music for so long, and Chrissy been on TV for a couple of years, and her notoriety is just as big as mine. In a couple of years, she's been on TV as opposed to the 15 years I've been doing music at that point in time. So television is everything, especially when it comes to marketing and promoting a business. If you can get that time and it works for you, then ain't no turning back after that.
Exactly. And I feel like it's definitely a good thing for exposure. So when we think about like hip hop and R&B music, there's a lot of times where people say we don't like how a lot of these new guys or these new girls are sounding, and they like the traditional sound of what hip hop and R&B used to be. What is your takes on these newer artists, and who are some of the newer artists in both genres that you personally feel are changing the game?
Shit, music is music. Music evolves. There was a time when we did music and the older people that was older than us didn't understand what type of music we was coming forth. So you just gotta adapt to the times. You got to let these youngsters have their fun like we once had our fun, and didn't want to hear nothing else because we had a own way of wanting to do music and it worked. You know what I mean? So right now I'm just adapting to what the youngsters got going on. Of course I always be me within everything that I'm doing, but you gotta be able to adapt, baby. Else you gonna get
Yeah,
lost.
that's what adaptation is all about. What artists do you personally enjoy listening to?
Oh, I mean, sure, it's a bunch of like the little babies, the Pooh Shiesties, the I'm just a fan of music, whatever makes me feel good and things like that. I mean, I will say that this music is not the most hustle acclimated music. I mean, it's more lit music, more
Hmm.
music when you got the money as opposed to making the money. Um, Other than that, I love all music, man. Whatever gives me some good energy, I'm rocking with it. I got no
Yeah.
shame in my game.
Would you say basically the music is just missing like a real strong concept as far as like the lyrical message is about? Because you're saying that they talk about being lit. Do you feel like there should actually be a real story with it?
A lot of the music doesn't have too much substance. It's more about having a good time, great energy, and being outside balling. When we was coming up, you had to hustle before you ball, and I think we missing the whole process. So I would appreciate some more music with some substance, no matter what the tempo is. It could be drill
Hmm.
music, you know what I mean? But you gotta can't forget the hustle, can't forget the struggle.
And that's what it's all about. And you've always been about showing your hustle and struggle. A lot of people want to also know how soon are we to getting a Dipset series?
Oh well, I don't know how soon we ought to get it, but I know we definitely get it as we just did a new Dipset venture, Diplomat Enterprise, where you'll see a lot more things from diplomats as a whole, from clothing to concerts to pop-ups to everything diplomat.
Oh, nice. When should we expect that? Later this year, going into next year?
Well, we actually put a capsule out this week, so y'all can look it up. I believe it's some summertime items, and I believe it's like a 1,000 piece jigsaw puzzle. So that's out.
Oh, y'all ain't playing with these new kids. Y'all like, look, we got this. Showing them how
And we
it's
can't.
done.
They gotta understand our history.
And that's what it's about, history. Now, this new deal with E1, I want to talk about it. Are there any new artists that you are currently looking at right now? What are you looking for in an artist when you just as a whole? I know we talked about just the subject matters of where lyrics are being at, but what do you look for in an artist?
I look for a total package. I mean, for me to do business with an artist, or I like to see artists that can sell music and also sell lifestyle. Because for the life of me, music might not be always popping for you. You know what I mean? But if you can hold on and persevere and being able to sell lifestyle and charisma, you might hold on to that music come back around for you.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of new music, you just dropped a new song and a new video. Can we talk about that record and the visual for that?
Shouts to Mayo off the Harry Furrow project. Three stripes, three cuts in your eyebrows, trying to rile out. Pretty dope record. We had fun shooting the video. It's out now actually, so everybody can go check that out.
Yeah, they definitely got to check that out. Is that going to be a part of another full length project for you, or are we just continue to drop singles right now?
Well, that's Harry Furrow project is currently out right now, so that's the second album that I dropped this year. I'm about to drop another album around my birthday called The Joneses with Graham Jones. Also have a project with the Hitmaker that's slated to come out in the fourth quarter, and
Ooh.
then the Berging album I'll put out in September.
So it's albums at back to back this year. You coming
Yeah,
heavy with it.
yes.
So are you scheduled to do any shows, especially with these projects coming up as quickly as they're coming?
Yeah, well, I got a bunch of shows starting to come up, a bunch of concerts, diplomat concerts, so there's a lot going on. I can start checking out itineraries and things like that.
Yeah, that's gonna be dope. That is definitely gonna be dope, Jim. Well, Jim, thanks so much for this interview. We definitely appreciate it chatting with you. The people who are still hanging in there while we got disconnected and everything else.
I appreciate everybody for hanging in there. Appreciate the
Absolutely,
love, man, at all times.
absolutely. Let everybody know where they can follow you, like as far as like social media is concerned, just in case they're not following, where they can get everything that you're doing.
My socials are Jim Jones Capo. If you don't know, you can go check it out. I'm usually posting up everything that I'm doing, from crypto to the music to the quarantine studios to the vamp fit to everything that Jim Jones is involved in.